Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630.
WMAL. 7:07 on WMAL, the place where Washington comes to talk. We're joined now by Byron York, a good friend of this broadcast. Brian York, of course, is chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner. Byron, how are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
Well, look, Romney swept 5 states. No surprise there. I think, for me at least, what the surprise was that he gave what I think is a pretty good speech. A lot of people going, man, that's sort of the speech we've been wanting to hear from Mitt Romney. What was your sense of it?
I think you're right, and it was no accident. What he did was he had to do 2 things last night, which was the campaign had decided to use this night as a night to try to frame big themes for the campaign. And it's no accident that last Friday, a few days ago, when he was in Phoenix, he kind of thanked all of his fellow candidates, his rivals in the race. He thanks Michelle and Tim and John and Herman and all these people. He kind of took care of that, and then last night he essentially took on the mantle of the nominee. And he tried to set up these big themes of opportunity and fairness, and he didn't use a lot of the words that you have heard him on his stump speech. He didn't use the word taxes. He didn't use the word deficit, and he didn't use the word budget. He used a lot of big framing kind of words that he wants to fit his campaign into in the next few months.
This has the feel to me of a speech that's been worked over by a real pro. He stuck strictly to the speech. I guess he was on teleprompter, wasn't he?
I wasn't there. I think he was. I did like you do. I watched the speech and I have a text of it in front of me.
Right.
And it did. He stuck to the speech, yes.
So he stuck strictly to the words, and these are all phrases that have been sort of run past focus groups and everything else, don't you think?
Well, you remember the last time he deviated from the speech when at the CPAC meeting when the speech said that he had been a conservative governor. He decided to ad lib. I've been a severely conservative governor.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good idea to stick with the speech.
All right. So, but do you think that we are going to see a more disciplined message now from the Romney campaign?
I think he's been pretty disciplined up till now. He's pretty good at that, and I think you'll see an even more discipline. The thing is the Romney campaign believes this is an election about big stuff, about the economy, about free enterprise, about our future. And if Barack Obama wants to make it about my dog or about what Hillary Rosen said on TV, I've got people who will fight that. We'll have a Twitter war if they want. But I, the candidate, Mitt Romney, am going to talk about the big stuff. And the whole idea of that speech last night was to introduce Romney to voters who hadn't seen him before or who didn't vote for him last time, or didn't vote for a Republican last time around, and make Romney look big and Obama look small.
All right. Romney and Santorum are apparently going to meet next week, sometime May 4th. What is their relationship like? Do they have a good relationship?
No. I mean, they're not buddies or anything, and Romney has often had difficult relations with some of his rivals. This time around, it was only Ron Paul that he seemed to get along fairly well with. The wives got along pretty well, Mrs. Paul and Mrs. Romney. But these guys are not friends.
I only bring that up because some people say, well, Santorum still hasn't really given a full-throated endorsement of Romney, although I'm not sure that matters at this point.
Not really. If you watched CNN last night, Santorum and his wife were on, and he worked pretty hard to avoid a formal endorsement of Romney, but he made it clear that he's going to work for him. Romney needs these guys not because he needs Republicans to vote for him. Most of them are going to do that. He needs the kind of Republican activist who will go door to door, who will make phone calls, who will volunteer, and a lot of those did like Santorum. Some of those like Gingrich. He needs those guys to start working for him, not just to vote for him in November.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the camp where I think this is the high water mark for Santorum, because I know some people believe, hey, if Romney loses, then, he may be the front runner in 2016, but because of the depth of the Republican field that's out there and guys who didn't get in the race for whatever reason this time around, I just don't see Santorum getting much, as far as clout, much higher than he is right now down the road.
Well, that is a common opinion that if Romney were to lose, that you have Marco Rubio and Chris Christie and Paul Ryan and this, kind of murderer's row on the bench waiting. On the other hand, Republicans do have a habit of giving a lot of deference to the guy who finished second last time. Mitt Romney now, John McCain before. They've done it a lot.
Right.
So my guess is that if you compare the stature of Santorum in the party before he started this race and right now, he's made a huge improvement for himself.
What did you make of the comment that John Boehner had the other day that there was like a 33% chance or whatever that
1 in 3
chance that they may lose the House?
I think that he did that for. First of all, there is some chance that they could lose the House. It looks pretty solid for Republicans right now that they can keep it. But he did it for donors who he wants to scare a little bit into giving more money.
All right. So now we have Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. Give me your sense of how this is going to play out and what the big themes on both sides are going to be.
Well, I think Romney made it very clear that it's still the economy, and we're not stupid. We know what's happened. So Romney is making this the economy, jobs, recovery, growth, free enterprise. Those are his big themes. Those are not really great themes for the president, who is going to make it his theme fairness, and the sub-theme of fairness is taxes, which is the rich have to pay their fair share. So, and as far as the economy is concerned, his argument is it could have been a lot worse. I saved it from being a lot worse, and it's getting better now. So, I mean, a number of people have suggested that the theme could be Mitt Romney, it could have been better. Barack Obama, it could have been worse.
All right, and what exactly is Newt Gingrich waiting for? Or did he pretty much say last night that he's getting out? It's just a matter of time.
I think he pretty much did. I talked to his people yesterday, before we knew anything about the vote totals, and they said, look, if he wins Delaware, great, we stay in. If he loses very narrowly, and by that they meant 1 or 2 points, we'll stay in, and if he loses farther back, we've got to reassess. Now, he lost by 30 points in Delaware. Romney crushed him. I look for the next few days for Gingrich to announce that he's leaving the campaign.
That's hard for him, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you have to remember how hot he was after Iowa, and then his victory in South Carolina. At Iowa, he really, I think, kind of challenged the gods by saying, look, I'm going to be the nominee. It's pretty clear I'm going to be the nominee. And Romney just carpet bombed him in Iowa and then again in Florida. So he does, I think he's angry about some of the stuff that happened in the campaign. And he always held out hope because he rose again after being knocked down in Iowa. He came back up in South Carolina, and which gave his backers hope that he could come back up again. But I think it's the end of the line.
All right, Byron. Good to talk to you as always. We appreciate it.